Well, I've been really busy, and here is my proof. And this is the second stack of containers this size since we moved into this house that I have had stacked in my garage. Okay, so since our last video, I've been really busy getting a lot of things in the ground, and so that's what I wanted to show y'all today was all of the plants that I planted over here beside the driveway. Well, hey guys, as y'all can see, we're having a nice Saturday morning here at the house in Dothan, Alabama, Zone 8B. And in this video, I kind of wanted to just talk real in depth about the design that I chose for over here along the driveway bed, which I kind of call it the Redbud Bed. And I also want to talk to y'all about this. So in a previous video, I was not real sure what to do about this camellia hedge here because it's just kind of one-dimensional. So I appreciate all of y'all's comments and insight because I think it was the right thing to do to keep the hedge and then just plant some complementary plantings next to it to kind of make it make more sense. Next to this hedge, I've planted a hedge of little lime hydrangeas. Let's come over here and show them. Okay, so I have 4 little lime hydrangeas and they're looking really, really good right now. And I planted them about maybe 3.5 or so feet apart because I believe they're gonna get to be about 5 to 6 feet wide. And what I was thinking was to have a hedge of the more structured camellias would be really pretty. To have something like these limelights kind of more free-flowing and wild looking. And y'all know how I like to put things that are wild next to things that are really structured. I just love that look. And so in my head, I'm gonna have this beautiful, amazing hedge of little lime hydrangeas. Here in Zone 8B, they bloom out in July. So we have a little time to wait, but I'm really excited about that. So let's move on. All right, Ryan, if you'll get just a really good pan of this driveway bed here so that I can show them. Okay, so what you see in this bed, it's about 99% of plants that I brought over from the other house. I had no idea how much work I was getting myself into when I brought over the amount of plants that I brought over from the other house. I think it was good and bad in a way because I've been sort of anxious to get them in the ground because all winter I was staring at black containers, plastic containers out in my landscape, and it was really just making me stressed out. I didn't like that at all. So I've been hard at work out here. I have lots of Miss Lemon Abelia in this bed. Lots of boxwoods in this bed. Okay. Lots of, well, not lots of, but 5 gray owl juniper kind of in a drift. And I absolutely love, look at that. I love the texture and the color of this gray owl juniper next to this Miss Lemon Abelia because the interior color green of the leaf of this Miss Lemon, it really kind of looks like the color of that gray owl juniper. So I love that. And then let's see. I brought over 2 Shishi Camellia Sasanquas, and I loved the glossy foliage of the camellia next to the Miss Lemon and also the gray owl juniper. So that was sort of, these were 2 things I put in the ground a few days ago, and It felt so therapeutic and so rewarding to do that, because I was looking at them in their containers and I just was like, I feel so bad for them. I want to get them in the ground so bad. Okay, let's talk about these supertunias. So I went and bought a bunch of Supertunia Vista Silverberry, and it took me a few hours, but I planted sort of a line, a drift of them all along the edge of this bed. And there were so many roots in this bed because I don't think that it had ever been planted and tended to, really. So it took me quite a while, but I really feel good about it, and I have a picture in my head of what it will look like whenever they all bloom out and get to a mature size. I was originally going to put in the bubblegum Supertunia Vistas here, but the nursery that I went to, they had run out of the bubblegums. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go with the silverberry because I think they're beautiful too, and I think the lighter color of the silverberry will actually be a better pop over here under this redbud. So let's show the redbud. It's leafing out, y'all. And it's looking really pretty. And I think that of all the trees in this landscape that I inherited, this redbud is my favorite. I just absolutely love it. I think that the architecture of these branches is wonderful, and I think that the canopy that it gives me over this bed right here, this sort of swooping look that it brings, it just makes me so happy. Okay, so here is an African iris. So I have put in some grasses also. That right there is a lamandra grass. This is an African iris. Oh, there's another African iris here. Some gold mound. No, this isn't gold mound. This is touch of gold holly. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm the most proud of that I got to go rescue from the other house several weeks ago is this Cryptomeria japonica globosa. So this I had left in the other landscape because, like I said before, I was so kind of overwhelmed at the time that we were moving. I just left things that I honestly would have liked to have, but you know how it is if you've ever moved. So I got to put this in this landscape, and I'm happy about that. It's gonna get to be about maybe 3 to 4 feet tall and wide at maturity. All right, now in this little container grouping that I have here, I just have a boxwood, and then of all the chartreuse plants out there, this is my favorite. This is called Touch of Gold, or Gold Mound Duranta. Gold Mound Duranta. And when I started gardening, Duranta was the first chartreuse plant that I was introduced to by my friend John, who you've heard me talk about. And it is just amazing. I love the leaf shape. I love the size of the leaf. I love it. It'll stay kind of in a mound form, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide probably. I'll keep it shaped that way. And then this, let's show them this loropetalum. Now, y'all have heard me talk about my friend John, and he actually gave me this loropetalum probably 1.5 years ago, and it was in a container, just a plastic container, forever over at the other house. And it felt so good to get this thing out of its container. It was so root bound, I had to cut the bottom of the root ball off. But I think it's such a great specimen to have right here in this big concrete container. And it's blooming out so beautiful right now. And I want to show them too. Okay, here is my variegated hydrangea. I've never actually seen this hydrangea bloom because I don't know if y'all would remember, but in a video that I did at the other house, I was talking about there's 2 of these variegated hydrangeas that I chopped way down because they were really leggy. So I sacrificed the blooms last year on these. So this year will be the first year I get to see them bloom out. And I believe it's gonna be like a lavender lace cap, if I'm not mistaken. Now, okay, so this is an azalea. It is an autumn carnation. So I have 3 of these planted in this bed, and here is another one right behind you. And I like their little pink blooms. Let's show them a pink bloom. They're real ruffly and cute. Now, this is the Midnight Magic crepe myrtle that I had over at the other house. And I bought it at, I think, Home Depot one day because I couldn't resist this beautiful deep purple foliage, and it blooms hot pink. And this is a smaller growing crepe myrtle. It might get about 6 to 7 feet, possibly a little bigger, but I just kind of like it right here. And a lot of you, if you have been watching the channel for a while, will remember that I had this. This is a lavender lace crepe myrtle. It stays small as well, 6 or so feet, and it blooms out kind of a lavender bloom. And I had it in the front bed by the driveway at the other house, and it was getting way too much sun. And so I think it's going to be doing really well right here for now. And as you can see, I still have not gotten it in to a nice container, so I'll have to do that soon. Okay, now I kind of decided to mirror the little lime hydrangea hedge that's over by the driveway right here. So I planted 3 little limes right here in front of this magnolia. And I actually had to limb up this magnolia because it was so crazy looking on the bottom and it was taking up a bunch of space. So I put 3 little limes in front of it, some more grass, and a boxwood and another touch of gold holly. Okay, now let me just show you guys something that I just decided to do over here. This area right here, it was sort of a question mark because I had no idea what to do. I had all these plants right up until here, and then that was just blank, and I just didn't feel like that made sense, or I just didn't like that. So I decided to put in my Tamukiyama Japanese maple that I brought from the other house as a specimen right here. And it's looking so pretty. Okay, so then flanking this tree are 3 oak leaf hydrangeas that I just planted the other day. They are called, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's S-E-M-M-E-S Beauty. Sims Beauty. They get about 8 feet tall and wide, and I can't wait for them to reach mature size because it's going to be so pretty to have huge white oak leaf hydrangea blooms right here next to this Tamukiyama. And okay, something else that was awesome, I bought these 3 azaleas probably last June, before I knew that we were going to be moving. And so I had these 3 azaleas in their pots for almost a year, and they looked awful. And I finally got them in the ground, and they also bloom pink. I'm not sure what kind they are, but they may be the autumn carnation. But anyway, I feel like this will be cute right here. I don't know. This is all still kind of up in the air. I may end up moving some things, but for right now, I'm just kind of testing out a design over here. This will be kind of how I will wrap up this video by showing y'all what I'm working on over here on this side of the golf area. All three of these Japanese maples came with me from the other house. This is a bloodgood. This is a weeping orangeola. I cannot wait for the fall because this thing is going to get orange. And this is called an orange flame, and it also gets orange in the fall, so I believe it's going to be a really pretty show. So this is kind of becoming like a Japanese style garden over here. I planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I planted 6 oak leaf hydrangeas over here in this area. So that's going to be a really nice wall of oak leaf hydrangeas. And yesterday I was out here just playing around with the plants, just trying to figure out my design, and I don't honestly know what I'm going to do as of right now, but that's just kind of what's been going on over here. I hope y'all enjoyed this little update, and I hope y'all have a good weekend. Thanks for watching.